They say perfection is the goal. In modern studios, perfection often means erasing every slip, aligning every beat, tuning every note until the sound is immaculate. Yet, when we listen back, something can feel off. The albums that define generations, records by Led Zeppelin, early Nirvana, countless other classics, owe much of their power to what, on paper, look like mistakes. Microscopic timing shifts, slightly flat vocals, guitars that resist being pinned down. This is not sloppiness, it is life. Imagine a drum beat recorded with absolute, machine-precise timing. Every kick lands exactly in the grid, every snare ticked like a metronome. Technically, it is perfect. But our brains are not machines that prefer absolute regularity. Human perception evolved in a noisy, variable world where tiny deviations and irregularities signal authenticity, intention, and emotion. Micro-timing variations, the infinitesimal early or late hits by a drummer, the ever-so-slight delay between guitar and bass create a sense of groove and tension. They allow the music to breathe. Take Led Zeppelin. Listen closely to John Bonham's drumming. The kick often hangs back a hair. The snare pushes forward at moments. These are not recording errors. They are choices born from human interaction. The band played together in rooms, responding to each other's phrasing and energy. Micro-timing creates a three-dimensional pulse, a subtle swing that pulls the listener into the performance. It's why the band feels big, dynamic, alive. When Bonham and Jones deliberately bent time against Page's riffs, they produced a living landscape of sound that a perfectly quantized drum machine could never recreate. Now, consider early Nirvana. Many of those tracks are rough around the edges, guitars slightly out of tune, Kurt Cobain's voice ragged and raw. In a better-equipped studio, tuners would be strapped on, auto-correction would be applied, and takes would be comped into an antiseptic amalgam. But these imperfections do something crucial. They carry urgency, vulnerability, and truth. When Cobain's voice cracks, it is not a flaw to be fixed. It is a signal that something important is being communicated. The out-of-tune guitar gives the chords a brittle texture, an emotional tension that resonates with the lyrical themes. The result is not merely sound, but a human presence on tape. There's a neurological explanation for this preference. The brain is a prediction engine. It constantly models patterns and expects certain regularities. When patterns are perfectly regular, the brain registers predictability and, paradoxically, boredom. Micro-variations violate those expectations just enough to engage attention and reward systems. We interpret tiny inconsistencies as signs of intentionality and authenticity. They are the sonic equivalents of a painter's brushstroke or a writer's imperfect grammar that reveals a real voice. This does not mean that all errors are beautiful, or that modern tools are evil. Editing, tuning, and production techniques can enhance creativity and raise the quality of recordings. But there is a balance. When engineers and artists remove every micro-timing variation and every tonal quirk, they also strip away textures that invite emotional connection. The floppy edge of an acoustic strum, the slight smear between a drummer's hands, the breath in a singer's line. These are the finger marks of life. The most enduring records often preserve the tension between human unpredictability and technical control. They are documents of people in a room, stumbling forward, listening, reacting. In that imperfect interplay, music acquires the unpredictability that keeps us coming back. Because the next time we listen, the groove might feel just a fraction different, and that difference matters. So next time you hear a classic record that seems to breathe and breathe again, listen for the tiny mistakes. The offbeat hit, the slightly sour chord, the ragged vocal exhale. They are not accidents to be erased. They are the living proof that music, in its truest form, is not a product of machine precision, but of human fallibility. And that fallibility is paradoxically the essence of what makes music feel alive.